So today I want to talk about another niggling injury that I've picked up and my plans to overcome this in view of some of the running events I have coming up. But before we get into that, hopefully you'll find it useful, so keep on watching, keep on listening. Welcome back to consecutive day 1846 of a diary of a runpreneur. And today's topic is all about picking up niggling injuries on an ongoing basis, how to mentally and physically overcome them. But before we get into that, please don't forget that this vlog is part of a fundraiser of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultra marathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style. And the more people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save. So back to the topic at hand. Another day, another injury. So yeah, the reason I'm talking about this today is, as always, this vlog is like my diary, or parts of my diary, and it follows kind of things that's going on in my life. And yeah, I've just picked up a little niggling ankle injury as I've been doing a little bit more off-road running, certainly in preparation for the Fen Gallop 10k community fundraising event for the local primary school here in the village that I reside in. And yeah, I pace the 45-minute pacer over 10k, 50% off-road, 50% on-road. It's quite a tough course, and I just don't do enough off-road running, to be fair. So I've done a couple of kind of training runs, and during one of them I felt my ankle roll over. Now the good news is that I strongly believe, because I'm a barefoot style runner and I wear Vibram 5 fingers V runs or V trails, I was wearing my trail shoes, and the benefits of running barefoot style is you land a lot softer than you would in big kind of cushioned supporting footwear. Now the benefits of that is that when you get issues where you roll an ankle or so, because you're landing softer, there's less force that goes through the ankle when it's obviously turned. Whereas if I was running in a cushioned running shoe, I would have landed a lot heavier and probably turned my ankle significantly worse than what I have done. I mean, clearly I'm running now, and I'm running about 6-minute kilometre pace just to kind of try and get some oxygenated blood flowing through it and hopefully speed up the recovery. But yeah, so yeah, ultimately I think barefoot style running is definitely, when you've kind of transitioned to it, I think there's a lot of kind of elements of running barefoot style that can be preventative towards injuries and certainly lower the risk of injuries. Even doing extreme kilometres and extreme kind of volume of runs like what I do. So yeah, it's a tweak. It's enough to feel it when I walk and feel it when I run. So, and there's a slight swelling in my right ankle. So I've obviously got to keep an eye on it. I probably will ice and heat it a little bit, just to try and speed up the recovery as well, because I've got the pacing event in 2.5 weeks' time that I need to kind of be ready for. But I'm hopeful it'll be enough time to recover. I'm hopeful within a few days it'll be recovered, because it's not a severe one. But ultimately, when these things happen, the best recovery element is some very light exercise with a lot of rest. So when I'm saying light exercise, it's kind of rehabilitation work, really, just keeping the joint loose and supple, some stretching and that side of things. This type of running, you could argue, is recovery based, but when you've got an ankle injury, you probably don't want to be running, as you're going to be putting force through it again. So that's why I'm running very small kind of steps in a slow pace, just to try and get it moving and keep it dynamic without putting too much force and pressure through it. So that's why I'm doing that. But a better option would be to rest and do stretches at home, to be perfectly honest with you. But because obviously I'm a streak runner, I don't have much choice. So psychologically, when you get injured, it can be tough, because you might have trained yourself up to a good level of fitness, and you feel that when you get injured and you're resting and you're not exercising, you're losing that level of fitness? Well, first and foremost, it takes about 6 weeks of no exercise to completely lose your base level of fitness. Yes, it will gradually deteriorate over the course of time, but as long as you're doing a little of something within that 6 week term, you won't lose it completely, which means getting back to the level of fitness you were will be shorter than it would have been if you lose your fitness altogether. So with that in mind, you can allow yourself sufficient rest and not worry too much about losing all your fitness. So that's a key kind of element to this. And also try and remain upbeat. It's difficult, especially if you've got races or events that you're planning for and injury takes you out of it. It's hard because you focus so much on getting there that you can lose your motivation when you get injured. So try and remain upbeat. But from a physical standpoint, it's all about doing the right things to give yourself the increased chance of recovery. So elevation, if it's a sprain with swelling, you want possibly take some anti-inflammatories. You possibly want to ice it and then heat it, bring out any bruising if that's going to be the case, and keep oxygenated blood pumping through it with some very light rehabilitation work. So ultimately the learnings from my diary are, if you have a minor injury, first and foremost, rest is vital, accompanied by some light rehabilitation, stretching or exercises to keep the oxygenated blood pumping through the injured area. Wouldn't recommend running like I'm doing unless you physically have to. If you have to, make it very much a recovery style run, very slow, small steps, minimal impact as possible. Mentally, just remember you don't lose. If you can rest up to 6 weeks and you'll still retain a certain level of fitness. More than 6 weeks, you'll lose your fitness altogether. But if it's within the 6 weeks, don't worry too much, you'll get it back quite quickly. So psychologically, give yourself that time to recover. And if you're missing out on races or events, it's part and parcel of training for these things or injuries. So try and remain upbeat and keep psychologically motivated, and don't lose all motivation and stop exercising altogether, which I've seen so many people do. So yeah, that's my advice. If you pick up these niggling injuries, hope you find it useful. Any questions or comments, drop me a line. I'll respond to anything relevant. But if you do believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon of run vlogging on consecutive days distance of the world, barefoot style, and do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always, stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you again tomorrow.